Good morning and welcome to our kitchen. This is our 250th program. I cannot believe it. And it's been 3 months since I've been here, and it's been nice to come back. So we are going to try to cook for you today and have a nice meal for our 250th. Today we're going to be making pork chops, tomatoes, and mushrooms. And for dessert, I'm going to make blueberry coffee cake. And we're going to start off with Nancy.
Okay, over here, my recipe. I'm melting 3 tablespoons of butter or margarine in a large fry pan. Pork chops, I'm partial to bone-in pork chops, not boneless. I just feel that even though pork chops have gotten leaner and they're not as juicy and tender as they used to be.
I think they have more flavor when the bone's in them, don't you?
Yes. So
Much better.
Much better. So, and I usually pound the pork chops, and I like just to bread them and bake them in the oven. This is going to be a little bit different, and we'll see how tender they come out. It's going to be all in a fry pan. So I've got 4 bone-in pork chops, and this time I picked the thin cut ones, and so we'll see. And I am flouring them on both sides in seasoned flour, salt and pepper. They will brown until they're a nice golden color, well, I'd rather say nice golden color than how many minutes. Maybe 4 or 5 minutes on each side. So while that is happening, I will turn it back to Gordy.
Thank you, and it's nice to be back with my gang. I haven't been here for a while. Well, anyway, I'm going to make a blueberry coffee cake. In my bowl, I have 2 cups of flour, a cup of milk, an egg, a cup of sugar, and some baking powder and salt. And I'm going to mix this up. You have to mix this probably about 2 minutes, so make sure that it's all mixed together. Use my spatula here. Okay, I'm going to put half of the batter in my pan. I'm going to spread this out. This doesn't take too long to make this, and it's very good if you have blueberries that you don't want to lose or don't want to get rotten. This is a good way to get rid of them. Okay, and I got a half a cup of blueberries, and they're pretty big. I'm going to sprinkle them all over my batter here. Okay, and then I'm going to spread the rest of this.
Are you good at dividing up when it says put half the batter in the bottom, then do something, then put the rest of it on top? Are you good at eyeing the...
No, sometimes the bottom has more than the top.
Yeah, I know. In all our years,
It doesn't, I don't know why, but it does.
it's just like cooking spaghetti. I will never get the right amount of spaghetti. I always cook too much.
Too much?
Uncooked, it doesn't look enough. And when it gets cooked up,
It's enough for an army.
yep.
Whoops, got a little on the pan. Okay. Now, for my streusel, I have, in my little bowl here, I have a half a cup of chopped walnuts and a third of a cup of brown sugar and a quarter of a cup of flour, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm going to put a tablespoon of butter, and mix it together. And when this is all done, you bake it in a 350-degree oven for 35 minutes. And then when that's done, you put a glaze on it. Okay, that's my blueberry coffee cake with strudel, and when it's done, we'll put a glaze on it. So I'm going to put it in a 350-degree oven for 35 minutes. Now we'll go back to Nancy.
Okay, back to me. As you see, I've turned my chops over, but I'm going to let them brown a little bit on this other side. Meanwhile, I'm getting together 2 tomatoes chopped. I usually use plum tomatoes. You can use whatever tomatoes you like. 2 cups of sliced mushrooms, and I thought I had minced garlic in the jar, but when I went to look for it late yesterday, I made a mistake and I didn't buy it. So
I had some, Nancy.
my seasonings are going to be the garlic powder. And I should have called Gordy because she said she had some. Next time I will call Gordy because she's probably got most of the things I might want.
And go shopping.
So,
Although I haven't done very much cooking or baking since this mess.
well, you haven't been getting together much
Nope.
to make stuff for your family or friends or whatever.
And I really don't need to have it at home. If that happens, then I'll eat it. And I don't need to eat it.
And that's not good.
No, I don't need it.
Okay, when going to remove the pork chops to a plate. They'll come back later. So here's the fry pan. I'm going to add the tomatoes. Mushrooms.
That looks good to eat it just like that.
And the garlic. Pretend this is 4 cloves of garlic, chopped or minced. Some parsley. If you're using fresh parsley, it's a teaspoon of chopped fresh parsley. And I'm using, it called for 1 teaspoon of seasoning and browning sauce. And this is what I had on hand. It's the Gravy Master. So hopefully that'll do the trick of what they're trying. We are practicing social distancing, if someone wonders.
We are now.
And then the last thing is a 1/2 cup of white wine or chicken broth. Now we're going to let that cook down. So while that's happening, we will just take our short break and let this cook before we add the chops back in again. So we'll be back shortly.
My cake is done now, so I'm going to make a glaze, which is a cup of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of milk, and a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. And I mixed it all up until it's nice and smooth. Now I'm going to turn it on top of the cake, just like this. And that is my blueberry coffee cake.
Okay, I'm ready to plate my pork chops and mushrooms and tomatoes. I'm going to put it on a bed of orzo rice, or pasta. Looks like rice, but it's actually pasta. Pork sauce. Okay, when we come back, we'll be at our table. Well, welcome back to our table, and right now we have a beautiful 250th show celebration cake. And we were going to do some more, maybe have a guest cook or something, do more stuff, but unfortunately, because of circumstances beyond our control, this is the way we're handling this particular show. Now, the cake is from Stacy's Cafe, and that is located on Outer William Street, where you get onto Dalton Division Road. And she not only bakes and decorates these beautiful cakes, she has the food of the cafe. Right now, she has picnic tables outside to eat outside. And when it's time to come indoors, she'll have it all set up properly for eating inside. She's done some different things if you've ever been out, if you've ever eaten there. She now has ice cream, Gifford's ice cream from Maine. Added different things to her menu for breakfast and lunch. We are so pleased with what she made for us, and we also are very pleased with the food that she serves. So that's Stacy's Cafe on Dalton Division Road out by William Street. Welcome back to our table. This is our 250th show. Today I made a pork chops with tomatoes and mushrooms, and it was done in a frying pan, and quite simple to do. As I was saying before, I don't do pork chops in a frying pan very often because I sometimes think that they can come out tougher than I like, but we decided to try this recipe. And in the beginning, I browned the chops. I floured the chops, then browned them on both sides, put them on a plate, and then in the same fry pan, I sauteed together some tomatoes chopped and 4 cloves of garlic chopped, 2 cups of sliced mushrooms, some chopped parsley, and if you can use fresh or dried, and a half a cup of white wine or chicken broth, and some seasoning or browning sauce to darken it up the way it looks now. And then put the chops back in and just cook them for a while, simmering them, and so that they get the flavor of the sauce and the tomatoes and mushrooms. And now here I've served them on a bed of orzo. So Gordy?
My dessert today, well, it's not a dessert. It's leftover blueberries that I had that I didn't want to go to waste, so I made a blueberry coffee cake.
A good cook is one that will use up what instead of throwing away. So
Well, I love blueberries, so I hate to see them go to waste. This is made with milk and flour and eggs, sugar and baking powder and salt. I mixed all together and put it, I put half of the batter in the pan, and then I put the blueberries on, and then I put the rest of the batter on top. And then I made a streusel while it was in the pan, and that's made out of chopped walnuts and brown sugar and flour and cinnamon and butter. And I mixed it all together and made a streusel. And after I got all the layers of the cake on, I put the strudel on, and I baked it for 40 minutes. And after it was done, I put it in the refrigerator for a little while to cool off before I put the glaze on. And the glaze is made of powdered sugar, milk, and vanilla, and you mix it till it's smooth, and then when it's cooled down a little bit, you put the glaze on, and this is what it looks like when it's done. It's a very good coffee cake to have in the morning with coffee, or in the afternoon, a cup of tea, or
That's
whatever.
right.
Anything you want, it's good for. So if you'd like any of these recipes, please send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Dalton Community Cable, 151 Park Avenue, Dalton, Mass. 01226, and that's all from our studio. We're closing out our 250th show. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.